Hello guys, it's me again, the intentional realtor. Okay, yeah. So today I want to talk about this popular group of people in the real estate sector. This popular group of people that we in Nigeria, especially in the western part of Nigeria, we call them the Omonile. I don't know if you have heard about such group of people. Omonile, they call them Omonile, you understand? So at times, whenever people want to buy land and they say, okay, they will discuss with Omonile, I don't know, those kind of terms that we use to describe a certain part of people whenever we want to buy a property, especially in this western part of the country. Now, who is an Omonile? I want us to discuss that today. Who is an Omonile? Okay, so in a more professional term in real estate, the Omoniles are also called the customary landowners. That is a group of community or family that owns a particular piece of land. You understand? So it can be a community, it can be a family. You understand? So those people are called the Omoniles. That is the people who actually owns that particular land, the indigents of that land, the indigents of that land. You understand? So at times we go about and we say, okay, I want to buy a property, but I want to speak with the Omonile. I want to do this with the Omonile, do that with the Omonile, and so on and so forth. Yeah, it's good. It's okay, but we need to understand that it doesn't end there, because I've heard some certain people complain. I've heard a series of complaints from people whereby an Omonile will sell a property and sell it to about 5 or more people. You understand? By the time you know what's going on, you begin to have issues, begin to go to court, you begin to fight some battles that you're not supposed to fight. You understand? So now let us discuss your challenges. You understand? You can drop your experience on the comment section. Let's discuss challenges that you face whenever you buy property from an Omonile. Now, is it good or is it wrong? Is it right or is it wrong to buy a property from Omonile? Is it right or is it wrong? Actually, it is right. It is not actually wrong to buy a property from a customary landowner, who we call Omonile in this part of Nigeria, this western part of Nigeria. It is not actually wrong to buy a property from them, but it is wrong when you don't do first your due diligence, and also when you don't do your proper documentations after buying the property. Now there are some steps you take before buying the property, and there are some steps you take after buying the property. Now there's a difference between buying from an Omonile and buying from a real estate company. One of the reasons why you should buy from a real estate company is because most of the real estate companies, most of them, not all, most of them have already done what you are supposed to do. What I mean, what you are supposed to do, I'm talking about your due diligence. You understand? Most of them have already done what you're supposed to do, you understand, to secure that particular property. And a lot of real estate companies actually buy the properties from the customary landowners, which we also call the Omoniles. You understand? So, and when they buy the property, you don't need to stress yourself, you understand, that far. Yes, it's good to do your due diligence even when you're buying from a real estate company. Yes, it's good and it's fine, but some other documentations, you understand, they've actually acquired it on your behalf. You understand that? So that is why you see some real estate companies, and some real estate companies will say, okay, they are selling this property. What title does it have, or what document does it have? It has a registered survey, or a deed of assignment, or a C of O, and so on and so forth. So now, for you to buy from a customary landowner, you need to, first of all, before buying, there are some steps you take before buying, and there are some steps you take after buying the property. Now, before you buy a property from a real estate, from a customary landowner, you should first of all go do your due diligence. You taking that step to go buy a property, you should also acquire the service of a surveyor. You should acquire the service of a real estate surveyor. He will help you chart the property, take it to the land registry, do proper charting on the land, do a proper charting on the property. And when they chart the property, then on the land registry they will indicate if that property is under government acquisition or not. Because truth be told, a lot of customary landowners sell properties that are under government acquisition, and by the time you know what's happening, when you buy the property and you build on it, after a particular period of time, maybe it may take like 10, 20, 30 years, or even after your lifetime, the government can come there again and say, okay, we want to reclaim this property and take it away. By the time you know what's happening, you begin to think the government is actually bad. No, they are not. It's you that did not do your due diligence when you were buying the property. Yes, and so all those things needs to be done before you buy the property. Then after buying the property, there are some other things that you should do. First of all, you should get proper documentations. When you get your proper documents, after buying the property, then go also to the land registry and secure your property by getting the right title that covers the property. Yes, so a lot of people don't do this, and they will say, I've heard a lot of people say, if I buy from an Omonile, I will fence it around. No, fencing it around does not secure your land. No, fencing your property around doesn't secure your property. It doesn't secure that land. What secures the land is to get the right title, and when you get the right title, even them that have sold it to you will not be able to sell it back to somebody else. You understand? So I will come back on this Omonile thing. See you guys some other time. Thank you very much for having me. Don't forget to like and to share my videos, and also follow me on all my social media platforms. Thank you very much. I'll see you soon. Bye.